Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most thrilling UFC events just took place this year, UFC 308. If you're a die-hard fan or a newcomer, this card had it all. Young fighters climbing the ranks, seasoned champions defending their legacy, and matchups that kept everyone on the edge of their seats. We're breaking down every moment of this action-packed event. Main event, deep dive, Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway. The headliner fight was something the fans had been buzzing about for weeks. Ilia Topuria, with an unblemished record, came in with the confidence of a man who knows he's on the brink of a championship shot. He was eager to solidify his place in the featherweight division as a future legend, while Max Holloway, a fan favorite and former champion, had a chip on his shoulder. Known for his toughness and record-breaking striking volume, Holloway was determined to prove he's still a force to be reckoned with. Fans were on the edge of their seats as the two fighters finally squared off, with the anticipation almost as intense as the fight itself. But was this fight really the defining moment in Topuria's career? Or does he have a few more tricks up his sleeve that could change the division forever? Let's dive into what went down. The fight started with Topuria quickly establishing control, using powerful strikes and an aggressive stance to set the tone. In round one, Holloway tried to use his height and reach, jabbing and throwing high-volume punches. But Topuria's boxing skills shone as he dodged punches and countered with precision. In round two, the tension hit a whole new level. Topuria's strategy evolved as Holloway increased his pace, launching a series of combos to keep his challenger at bay. But Topuria's fighting IQ was on full display. He read Holloway's moves, slipping past the Hawaiian's signature strikes and answering back with his own powerful counters. Holloway, who's known for weathering storms, found himself facing a unique challenge in Topuria's precise footwork and calculated aggression. Each hit had the crowd gasping, as it became clear this was no typical Holloway fight. As the rounds progressed, Topuria's calculated aggression became the highlight. His footwork was impeccable. Each move seemed premeditated, forcing Holloway to adjust his usual high-volume style. The final moments in round three were jaw-dropping. Holloway, with his legendary durability, tried to press forward, but Topuria's relentless attacks left him no room to breathe. The referee's decision to call the fight was almost poetic, signaling the rise of a new force in the featherweight division. As Topuria celebrated his victory, the energy in the arena was electric. This wasn't just a fight. It was a turning point in Topuria's career, a night that fans would be talking about for years to come. But here's where things get wild. Topuria didn't just win, he made history. He's now the first fighter to knock out Max Holloway, a feat no one thought was possible. Holloway, with one of the toughest chins in UFC history, had never been put down like that. Fans and analysts were in shock, realizing that this wasn't just another win for Topuria. It was a seismic shift in the featherweight division. Just imagine, if Topuria can do this to a legend like Holloway, what could he do to a reigning champion? Holloway took the defeat like a true champ, and Topuria's confidence after the fight was off the charts.
What a beautiful family I have. I'm a highly blessed man in this world.
In the post-co-main event, highlight, Khamzat Chimaev versus Robert Whittaker. Now, if you thought the main event was wild, the co-main brought some shocking surprises of its own. Chimaev versus Whittaker. Was this fight the start of a title run, or just a fluke? Let's break down this explosive face-off. The co-main event brought fireworks of its own. Khamzat Chimaev and Robert Whittaker are two fighters known for their durability and skills across all areas of MMA. Fans anticipated an all-out war, but what happened surprised everyone. In round one, Chimaev came out swinging and managed to catch Whittaker off guard. Chimaev's grappling proved too much for Whittaker, who was forced to defend from the bottom. With intercard breakdown and key moments. Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Chris Barnett, heavyweight. In the heavyweight showdown, Kennedy Nzechukwu's reach and athleticism stole the spotlight. Facing off against Chris Barnett, a fighter known for explosive moves despite his size, Nzechukwu used his height advantage to keep Barnett at bay. The fight showcased Nzechukwu's technical prowess as he maintained control, landing sharp, well-timed shots that ultimately led to a clean TKO. Barnett, who's used to throwing his opponents off with unpredictability, simply couldn't get past Nzechukwu's defenses. The fans erupted when the ref called it, marking another memorable heavyweight performance. Jeff Neal versus Rafael dos Anjos, welterweight. This welterweight match had a surprising twist. Just a minute in, Dos Anjos suffered a knee injury that visibly affected his mobility. Neal quickly capitalized on the setback, launching a series of strikes that forced the referee to step in and call it off. After the fight, Neal acknowledged that this wasn't the way he wanted to win, but he expressed relief at securing the victory. Despite the disappointing ending, Neal's decisive strikes highlighted his ability to think fast under pressure and adapt to unexpected changes. And you won't believe what went down in the post-fight interviews. Topuria was on fire, and Chimaev didn't hold back either. But did Holloway drop a hint about his next move that only die-hard fans would notice? The post-fight press conference was a spectacle in its own right. Reporters wanted to know what Topuria's next steps were, and if he'd be in line for a title shot. Topuria answered confidently, saying that he felt ready to face the division's best. This prompted debates on social media. Some fans are eager to see him against other top contenders, while others think he's earned his shot.
Man, I felt great. I was finding my groove. We saw it on the scoreboards after. I was kind of surprised by it. I thought I had it. I thought I had at least one of them, you know.
Holloway's words at the press conference won the respect of everyone in attendance. He again answered all the questions with grace. He accepted defeat like a real warrior. He also addressed his own mistakes and pointed out where he was lacking, underscoring his reputation as one of the most humble and beloved fighters in the UFC. Chimaev, meanwhile, was asked repeatedly about a title shot. While he didn't confirm anything, he made it clear that he's willing to fight anyone. He was also asked about his opponent's broken chin, which he confidently replied to by the "did what I had to do" style answer. Fans loved his confidence, and UFC analysts noted that he could be a real threat in the middleweight division. And then there was the champion of the main event, Ilia Topuria. He was full of swag and confidence during the conference. He smashed the audience with his new titles and discussed how he knew from the beginning what would be the outcome of their fight.
I call this because I knew it. It's a surprise for a lot of people, but for me, it's like I knew it.
His smile said a lot about how he was feeling. I mean, he did beat the shit out of the never-knocked-out champion and became the first person to knock out Holloway. The fans were all over social media after the fights, praising Topuria's performance and debating what's next for Holloway. Chimaev's fast finish also had everyone talking, with hashtags like Topuria for title and Chimaev middleweight taking over Twitter. MMA influencers on YouTube and Twitter shared their thoughts, predicting title implications for both Topuria and Chimaev. Holloway's loyal fans expressed their continued support, while many speculated about what would be next for the featherweight and middleweight divisions. UFC 308 will be remembered as a pivotal night for the future of both. So that's UFC 308 in all its glory. It was a night of triumphs, heartbreaks, and unforgettable moments. Who do you think Topuria should face next? Should Chimaev get a title shot? Comment below with your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to subscribe for more UFC recaps and fight breakdowns.